Today, in this video, I'll be making the strongest pirate crew to ever live. Now, before you start typing in the comments, "Oh Shadow, didn't you already do this video?" Well, yes, I did. However, in this one, I'll be only choosing characters from the old generation, which means I cannot choose any characters from the new, worse, or middle generation. And we also have to use the following roles, which are Captain, Vice Captain, Third Member, Swordsman, Sniper, Navigator, Cook, Doctor, Archaeologist, Musician, Fighter, Muscle, Wildcard, Shipwright, Helmsman, and a ship. Now, be sure to stay tuned to the very end, because this crew would absolutely be super powerful. Now, for the first trait, every crew needs a captain, and I will be choosing Rox D. Zebek for this role. Rox D. Zebek is extremely powerful, as he was able to kidnap 5 kings and destroy the Gates of Justice. He was even able to kill a Marine Admiral when he was just a rookie, and even clash with an ancient giant. They even led the most dangerous pirate crew in all of history, with members such as Whitebeard, Kaido, Big Mom, and Shiki. And he also even possessed immense Conqueror's Haki too. The next role to have on our crew is a Vice Captain, and I will be choosing the Dark King himself, Rayleigh Silvers. Rayleigh possesses all 3 types of Haki, and was even quick enough to keep up with Admiral Kizaru. He was also able to clash with Marco the Phoenix, and he was the strongest right-hand man ever shown in the series. And he was also the right-hand man of Roger himself. And to complete the monster trio, we'll need a third member. And I will be choosing the strongest man in the world, Whitebeard. It took the entirety of Marineford, 3 admirals, both Sengoku and Garp, all the other vice admirals, all of the warlords of the sea, Blackbeard and his crew, and 100,000 soldiers. And around this time, Whitebeard was 72 years old, and was dying from a deadly disease. So just imagine how strong he was in his prime. Whitebeard also possessed a devil fruit called the Tremor Fruit, which allows him to generate giant shockwaves that can cause earthquakes and tsunamis, and even has the power to destroy islands and potentially even the world. Whitebeard also possesses a supreme grade weapon called Murokumagiri, which this weapon is so strong that it's able to clash with Ace. And Whitebeard also has all 3 forms of Haki. Now that we've gotten our monster tree out of the way, it's time we pick our swordsman. And I will be choosing Ryuma for this role. Ryuma was so strong that he was capable of slaying an entire dragon, and he also remained undefeated throughout his life. Ryuma also possessed a black blade, which means he infused his Haki permanently into his sword, making Shisui more stronger and sharper. And it's also theorized that he was the one who gave the Gorosei their scars. So now our crew's swordsman is Ryuma. The next role in our crew is a sniper, and I will be choosing Charlotte Perospero, as we really don't have any options for this role, as Katakuri, Perospero, and Oven all were born before the God Valley incident, meaning Perospero is a part of the old generation. Even though Perospero isn't a traditional sniper, he still has sniper-like abilities, such as his signature move called Cold Sniper, which allows him to manifest a candy bow and shoot arrows from it. He possesses the devil fruit called the Lick Fruit, which allows him to create and control candy, and he also possesses Armaments Haki and Observation Haki. So now our crew sniper is Perospero. The next role on our crew is a navigator, and I will be choosing Scoper Gaban. Gaban possesses Observation Haki and even Conqueror's Haki. Gaban was also strong enough to fight against Odin, the legendary samurai who gave Kaido his wound. Gaban was also strong enough to be Roger's left-hand man, proving more and more of his strength. And he's also an extremely skilled navigator, as he was able to guide the Roger pirates to the Grand Line twice. So now our crew's navigator is Gabon. The next role on our crew to have is a cook, and I'll be choosing Zeph for this role. Zeph in his prime was a fearsome pirate, and he had incredible leg strength, capable of crushing large rocks, leaving footprints on steel, and even was capable of deflecting entire cannonballs with just his legs alone. Zeph possibly also has advanced armaments hockey as well, but Zeph was also an extremely talented chef. He shares the same knowledge of cooking as Sanji, as he's the one who taught him everything he knew, and he was also the lead chef of a restaurant. So our crew's cook is Zeph. The next role on our crew to have is a doctor, and I will be choosing Crocus for this role. Crocus was the doctor on Roger's crew, and he was capable of treating Roger's sickness, which was an unknown uncurable disease. And he was also able to manage treatment on Laboon, with Laboon being a large whale. And he's also strong enough to fight giant sea creatures. And when he was younger, he fought against the Whitebeard pirates. His durability is also extremely powerful, as he was able to withstand an attack from Mr. Nine and Miss Wednesday. So now our crew's doctor is Dr. Crocus. For the next role on our crew is an archaeologist, and I'll be choosing Katsuki Odin. Odin is a part of the Kozuki family, which gives him the ability to read the poneglyphs. Not to mention that Odin is also extremely powerful. Odin is a legendary samurai from Wano, and was capable of severely injuring Kaido with Enma, which is a sword that drains the user's haki. And along with his second sword, Habakiri, he can use the two-sword style technique. He also has a high pain tolerancy, as he was able to survive in a pot of boiling oil for a while. And he was even strong enough to clash with Whitebeard and even Roger himself. And Odin possesses all three forms of haki and their advanced forms. So now our crew's archaeologist is Odin. The next role on our crew to get is a musician, and I'll be choosing Brook for this role. You see, Brook was still alive before Roger even became king of the pirates, making Brook a part of the old generation. Brook was so strong that he was capable of fighting against Big Mom, with Big Mom being one of the 4 emperors. And because of his devil fruit, the Revive fruit, he can use soul-based attacks. He's also one of the fastest straw hats on the crew, capable of moving at high speeds. He's also a skilled swordsman and is able to freeze enemies with a slice. He's also an extremely skilled musician, as he's capable of playing multiple different kinds of instruments, and also capable of making several songs. So for our crew's musician is Brook. The next role on our crew to have is a fighter, and I will be choosing Gold D. Roger for this role. Gold D. Roger possesses all 3 forms of haki in their advanced forms, and he also possesses a sword called Ace, which is a supreme grade weapon. He's also strong enough to fight against Odin and Whitebeard, and he was also strong enough to fight against Adomi Reverse Roxy Zebek. So now our crew's fighter is Gold D. Roger. The next role on our crew to have is some muscle, and I will be choosing Kaido for this role. Kaido possesses all 3 forms of haki and their advanced forms, and he's also known as the world's strongest creature, and his devil fruit, the dragon fruit, allows him to turn into a dragon. While being a dragon, it allows him to have immense strength and enhanced durability, and he can also use elemental attacks. Kaido is also extremely durable, as he survived over 40 execution methods and survived a fall from a sky island. So now our crew's muscle is Kaido. For the next role on our crew to have is a wild card, and I'll be choosing Big Mom for this role. Not only Big Mom possesses all 3 forms of haki, but she also possesses immense physical strength, and she's also strong enough to clash with Kaido. She also possesses a powerful devil fruit called the Soul Fruit, which allows her to use soul manipulation and can drain the life force of her enemies. She also has these things called homies, which are inanimate objects given souls. And she also has a sentient sword called Napoleon, and also has a fire and lightning companion called Prometheus and Zeus. So our crew's wild card is Big Mom. The next role on our crew to get is a shipwright, and I'll be choosing Tom for this role. Tom is an incredibly strong fishman, as he's capable of lifting an entire ship with one hand and also possessing a tough and durable body. He also survived from being bombarded by Frankie's ships, which were strong enough to kill Sea Kings. He is also one of the most skilled shipwrights in the series, and was also considered the greatest shipwright in his time. He also built Roger's ship, the Oro Jackson, was able to make the like and subscribe button, and was also able to create the first sea train. So our crew shipwright is Tom. The next role on our crew to have is a helmsman, and I'll be choosing Shiki for this role. Shiki was so strong that he was capable of declaring war against Gold D. Roger. He was also the first inmate to escape Impel Down, and he was also a part of Roxy Zebek's crew. Shiki possesses all three forms of haki, possesses two legendary weapons called Oto and Kuragashi, and also possesses a devil fruit called the Float Fruit, which allows him to levitate anything he touches. So now our crew's helmsman is Shiki, and the final thing for our crew to have is a ship. And I'll be choosing Pluton. Pluton is one of the three ancient weapons that were used in the Void Century. It's also known as the world's worst battleship, and is capable of destroying entire islands with a single blow. So now our crew's ship is Pluton. And there it is, the strongest old generation crew. Click on this video next, where I went over 20 of the strongest devil fruit combinations.